Good evening. Tonight we invite you to consider a number so vast it's almost beyond imagination. A figure that has the power to reshape economies and influence the fate of nations. We're talking about $1 trillion, China's annual trade surplus, as of 2025. This staggering sum is not just a statistic, it's a reflection of China's relentless drive to dominate global trade, outpacing rivals, and rewriting the rules of international commerce. This record-breaking figure stands as a powerful symbol of China's economic might on the world stage. Yet, beneath the surface, it also reveals a story of deep internal imbalance, a tale of growth that comes with hidden costs and mounting pressures. While China's exports continue to surge, fueling factories and filling ports, its domestic economy is showing unmistakable signs of strain. Consumer confidence is faltering, growth is slowing, and ordinary citizens are feeling the pinch as uncertainty clouds the future. The trillion-dollar surplus raises a critical question for the world. Is China's economy truly as invincible as it appears? Or does this achievement mask vulnerabilities that could threaten not just China, but global stability itself? What risks lie beneath the surface of this economic powerhouse? Tonight, we'll take you inside the engines that drive this surplus, industries like electric vehicles and solar panels, where China leads the world. We'll also look at the ambitious state policies and government strategies that have fueled this export juggernaut, propelling China to the top of the global economic ladder. But we won't stop there. We'll also examine the internal challenges now testing the resilience of China's economic model. Real estate turmoil that threatens financial stability, an aging population that could slow growth for decades, and weak consumer demand that casts doubt on the future. The trillion-dollar question is not just about numbers, it's about the fate of a nation and the world. To truly grasp China's current position on the world stage, we need to journey back in time and trace the roots of its extraordinary rise. The story of modern China is not just about rapid growth, but about a nation's relentless drive to reinvent itself over the course of 4 decades. In the late 1970s and early 1980s, visionary leader Deng Xiaoping launched sweeping economic reforms. These policies opened China's doors to foreign investment and global trade, setting the stage for a transformation that would turn the country into the world's manufacturing hub. Factories sprang up across the nation and millions of workers found new opportunities on bustling assembly lines. Special economic zones, most famously Shenzhen, became laboratories for market-driven growth. These zones attracted investment, technology, and talent, rapidly evolving from sleepy fishing villages into sprawling cities. The result was unprecedented. Hundreds of millions of people were lifted out of poverty, and China's urban landscape was reshaped almost overnight. The momentum accelerated in 2001 when China joined the World Trade Organization. This pivotal moment supercharged exports and pushed Chinese industries up the value chain. The country moved beyond assembling simple toys and textiles and began producing sophisticated goods like computers, smartphones, and advanced telecom equipment for the world. Foreign investment poured in, bringing not just capital but also cutting-edge technology and management expertise. Chinese companies learned quickly, adapting global best practices and eventually becoming fierce competitors on the international stage. In recent years, ambitious state-led initiatives such as Made in China 2025 have shifted the focus from low-cost manufacturing to high-tech innovation. Today, China is investing heavily in artificial intelligence, robotics, biotechnology, and other advanced sectors, aiming to lead the world in these fields. As a result, China has become the world's top exporter of advanced products, from electric vehicles and batteries to solar panels and renewable energy technology. Its factories are now at the forefront of the green revolution, shaping the future of global industry. This breathtaking transformation, from a low-cost assembler of basic goods to a high-tech powerhouse, stands as one of the most remarkable economic stories of our time, reshaping not only China, but the entire global economy. China's massive trade surplus is powered by its dominance in green technology, a sector where the country has invested heavily for over a decade. This dominance isn't accidental, it's the result of a deliberate long-term strategy to lead the world in the industries of the future. In electric vehicles, Chinese brands like BYD and NIO have surged ahead, not just capturing their home market, but also making significant inroads into Europe, Southeast Asia, and beyond. Years of state support, generous subsidies, and a focus on innovation have allowed these companies to scale rapidly, outpacing many Western rivals. Today, Chinese EVs are shipped worldwide, symbolizing the country's technological ambitions. In solar energy, China now controls an astonishing 80% of the global supply chain. This dominance has driven down the cost of solar panels, making renewable energy more affordable and accessible across the globe. Chinese factories churn out solar panels at an unprecedented scale, fueling the world's transition to clean energy. This industrial strategy has created a global dependency on Chinese manufacturing. Countries around the world now rely on China for critical components, from batteries to solar cells, making China an indispensable player in the global economy. But China's ambitions don't stop at green tech. The country is rapidly expanding into semiconductors, artificial intelligence, and digital payments. By investing in research, talent, and infrastructure, China aims to achieve self-sufficiency in these high-tech sectors and challenge established global leaders. The government's targeted support has built export powerhouses in EVs, solar, and advanced manufacturing. These industries are now pillars of China's economic strength, driving exports and creating millions of jobs. These sectors are the engines behind China's trillion-dollar trade surplus, a direct result of calculated, long-term industrial policy. By focusing on strategic industries, China has positioned itself as a global leader in the technologies that will shape the future. China's model is clear: identify strategic sectors, nurture national champions, and compete fiercely on the world stage. This approach has transformed the country into a powerhouse of innovation and manufacturing, setting the pace for the rest of the world to follow. The path to a trillion-dollar surplus wasn't smooth. The US-China trade war in 2018 brought tariffs and predictions of crisis for China's export machine. Instead, China adapted, retaliating with its own tariffs, diversifying trade partners, and accelerating self-reliance. ASEAN became China's largest trading partner, and Belt and Road trade surged. The trade war spurred innovation and supply chain localization, reducing dependence on US technology. By 2025, China's export engine had not broken, it had pivoted. The trillion-dollar surplus is proof of China's resilience and ability to find new markets. Trade wars didn't stop China's rise, they forced it to adapt and strengthen. Behind the export boom, China's domestic economy faces deep cracks, none bigger than the real estate crisis. For years, property fueled growth and household wealth, but it was built on debt. Beijing's 3 red lines policy in 2020 pricked the bubble, triggering defaults by giants like Evergrande and leaving unfinished buildings and angry buyers. The construction sector, once a quarter of GDP, has contracted sharply, causing job losses and slashing local government revenues. Falling home values have chilled consumer spending, exposing the limits of debt-fueled growth. Government support measures have yet to restore confidence. The crisis is not just financial, it's psychological, undermining trust in the market. China's gleaming towers now stand atop fragile foundations. China's next challenge is demographic. Decades of the one-child policy have left the country aging rapidly. By 2035, nearly 30% will be over 60. A shrinking workforce means rising wages and strains on pensions and healthcare. The demographic dividend that powered China's rise is gone. At the same time, domestic demand remains weak. Household consumption lags behind developed economies. Economic uncertainty and an inadequate safety net drive high savings and low spending. The result: China produces far more than it consumes, making it vulnerable to global demand swings. Until domestic demand rises, China's economic health will remain precariously tied to the world's appetite for its goods. China is now a systemic force in the global economy. Over 120 nations count China as their top trading partner, and global supply chains depend on Chinese production, from rare earths to pharmaceuticals. Any disruption in China sends shockwaves worldwide, causing shortages and price spikes. China is also a major commodity importer. A slowdown would hit exporters from Brazil to Australia. Through the Belt and Road Initiative, China is a key global creditor. Its economic health affects debt-laden developing nations. The world is deeply intertwined with China's fortunes. A hard landing in China could trigger a global recession. In the 21st century, the global economy is a shared ecosystem, and China's stability is everyone's concern. What's next for China? 2 futures emerge. In the optimistic scenario, Beijing stabilizes real estate, boosts domestic consumption, and continues its tech ascent, creating a more balanced, resilient economy. Breakthroughs in AI, semiconductors, and green tech drive growth, while automation offsets demographic decline. China's global influence grows on a stable foundation. In the pessimistic scenario, policy fixes fall short, real estate stagnates, demand stays weak, and demographic drag slows growth. Debt and trade tensions mount, risking financial crisis and stagnation. China remains a giant, but one struggling under its own weight. The path it chooses will shape the world's future. The trillion-dollar surplus is a milestone, proof of China's global power but also a symptom of internal imbalance. The same model that built this surplus has created deep vulnerabilities, real estate turmoil, an aging population, and weak consumer spending. China's duality is clear: immense power abroad, fragility at home. Its fate is now tied to the world's and vice versa. A successful rebalancing toward domestic consumption could create a more stable engine for global growth. Failure to address internal crises risks stagnation and global repercussions. The story of China's economy is still unfolding, shaped by choices in Beijing and forces beyond its control. The world will be watching.